welcome to Visual Recreation, the essential video guide winning FML each and every week. I'm your local droid R-Drew-D2.
And I am C-3P Joe, Human Cyborg Relations, and today, let's talk new movies. The Resistance is back, and they're back to fight the First Order once again. Yes, I'm talking about Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Premieres this weekend. It's PG-13 fantasy adventure film to end a 9-movie saga.
Are you still doing your droid impersonation?
I am not doing the droid impersonation. But Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker stars, of course, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Billy Lord, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Oscar Isaac, Anthony Daniels, Andy Serkis, Billy D. Williams, and the list goes on and on. Now this is directed by J.J. Abrams, who has returned to save Star Wars. Now, the long-range forecast for this movie is looking to be around $200 million. That is a lot of movie.
Yeah.
A lot of money for this movie. Opening weekend has it around, opening range, $185 million to $225 million. So still, boatloads of money.
Yeah, so what you're saying is on the range, if it gets lower part of its range, it's still fairly amazing.
It's still really amazing.
Yeah, it's still going to hit the top 10 of most grossed movies earned in 2019.
Absolutely, for sure. Now, when looking at comps for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, what better movies to compare it to than Star Wars? So we're looking at Star Wars from 2015, The Force Awakens, which premiered in 4,100 theaters to $247 million.
Wow.
With a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Man.
And now we got to remember that was a long-awaited movie to relaunch the new trilogy here for the final trilogy of the saga. So, of course, it was raking in the money at the box office. The next comp we looked at was The Last Jedi. That nice space chase movie that we all love. $220 million in 4,200 theaters. Premiered in 2017 and still has a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really impressive.
So yeah.
Really impressive. But people were kind of mad about that movie. But you know what people can't be mad at?
What's that?
Cute and cuddly cats. That's right. There's another movie premiering this weekend, and that's Cats. This is based off the Broadway hit musical of the same name. It's a historical musical about singing cats. Now this one stars James Corden, Judi Dench, Jason Derulo, Taylor Swift, just to name a few. I mean, there's a ton of people in this movie.
Sure, yeah.
Ian McKellen and Jennifer Hudson, just to name more, I guess. This was directed by Tom Hooper, who gave us such movies as The King's Speech and Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Now, Pro Box Office has this one opening it up at $12 million, which is a 14% decrease from last weekend's projections. Not looking good on that front. But its opening weekend range, $10 to $20 million, so that's really wide. Do anything from that point. This is rated PG. This is 2 hours long, but why are we still talking about cats when we can go talk about Star Wars in the movie Modar? Alright, we're in the Modar, and we did tell you we were going to talk about Star Wars, but let's just jump a little bit into Cats. We'll dip our little paws into the little bowl and try our thing.
Okay.
So with Cats, when you're looking at comps, this is very uncomparable or incomprehensible or whatever you want to say. I mean, this is such a different style of movie.
Yes.
It's based off a very hit play. A lot of people know the play.
Yeah.
A lot of people know the title of the play, but I don't know if people know it too much. This one has a great cast, but I don't know if any of them have that gripping pull to bring people into this movie theater.
Well, if you add enough stars to a movie,
yeah,
you can pull enough people in.
Yeah, we've seen that happen before. Also, the visuals look like something from my nightmares as a 7-year-old. I mean, new technology or not. I mean, this movie kind of scared me at first. People were talking about it online, and I don't think in a great way. But it still has a great cast, good songs. It didn't get as much awards buzz as I would have hoped it would have gotten. So, I don't know. I think $12 million is a good good amount of money for this movie, especially with it being so niche and coming out on one of the biggest weekends of all weekends of this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you're going up against Star Wars, and regardless of the Star Wars controversy and spoiler leaks and rumors and stuff behind it, Star Wars is still going to make a ton of money. So if you're trying to compete with that with animated cats put on motion-tracked human actors, that just looks a little unsettling to look at. But yeah, like you mentioned, there is new technology behind this movie that could help catapult films in the future, but I don't know if it's going to work opening weekend this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
No. But Star Wars, on the other hand, I don't know. I mean, with everything around Star Wars, like I mentioned, Force Awakens opened to 247 million. Then you had like a 10% decrease with The Last Jedi at 220 million. I'm thinking the Rise of Skywalker, you're still going to get people to flock out opening weekend for this, because good or bad, they want to know what happens.
Yeah.
It's the end of a beloved saga, 9 movies. This is it. They want to know what happens, good or bad. So I'm just going to toss this number out there. I'm going to put it at around 195 million.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, you talked about Force Awakens, and it's opening to a massive $247 million over the 3-day, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of its opening weekend. That's almost a $60,000 PTA, which is unheard of, in my opinion, when talking about movies in Fantasy Movie League. But like you said, this was long awaited. This was getting back into a new trilogy, and since 2015 we've had a Star Wars movie every single year. And you had 2015 with Force Awakens, Rogue One. I was gonna say Rogue Warrior, but it's Rogue One. And then you have Last Jedi, and then Solo. Those last 2 movies not doing so well. I mean, the graph was going lower. You got Mandalorian, you got Disney Plus, you got everything going on. It's Star Wars Overload. Star Wars Overload. Both work, I guess. Disney overlords are overloading us with Star Wars.
I see what you're doing there.
So it just seems like a lot's going out there, and it's coming out so close to Christmas. No doubt that people are going to flock to see this movie. I think 200 million is for sure in the range of this one. And if Lion King's gonna make 192, this one can make 195 to 200 million.
Yeah.
But some people could be like, I'm gonna wait for word of mouth. I'm gonna go see it once. Maybe they'll go see it again on Christmas. Christmas is a very big holiday to go see movies if people aren't with all their family and going to have a family fun time. I just don't know. I think we could see another 10% decrease, especially for how the last 2 movies have kind of diminished in a way. Like after the Rian Johnson and Solo fiascos.
Absolutely.
I think 200 is...
Yeah, and of course, Star Wars is split in FML.
Yep.
It's gonna be really big regardless, so of course it's gonna be split. So let's take a look at some of the past splits, percentage-wise and money-wise. What do you got?
Yeah, for Force Awakens, we talked about it. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were all split. Friday made the most and got 48% of its total weekend, opening weekend, which is really fantastic. Saturday got around 28% and Sunday got 24%. But what about Last Jedi? Was there anything different, or did you see some similar patterns?
Definitely similar with The Last Jedi. Now, Friday it made the most money, coming in at 47.5%. And then right behind that, Saturday at 29.2%, and then Sunday at 23.3%. So pretty close to the way Force Awakens made its money opening weekend.
Okay, well that's really similar, and it could tell us a lot going into this next weekend.
Definitely.
Maybe you should look into the other Star Wars movies that came out, like Solo, like Rogue One. Maybe get a little bit more of a rounded edges, but those could be a little bit different as it's not part of the main story.
Right.
They were kind of one-off stories, and one just really tanked it hard. It's not viewed as
yeah,
and
well. that one, Solo is what you're talking about. Yeah. And that had a lot of internet hype, talk, controversy, buzz around it before it came out too, which actually hurt the film in the long run. Yeah. So who knows if that would happen to Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, you never know. We hope we helped you all out for this weekend. for this tricky weekend of Star Wars. Use the Force, break out your Force abilities, find your inner Palpatine since he's back,
wow. Yeah.
and really try to do the best you can. Padawan.
Yes, may the Force be with you this weekend in Fantasy Movie League. And as always, remember, sometimes
you gotta risk it to get that biscuit. So good at the biscuit. Skywalker. Jedi biscuits.